Every single thing I've ever done has been a surprise and a delight to me, and I take not 1 second of it for granted.
Jamie Lee Curtis is an Academy Award-winning actress and the daughter of Hollywood legends Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh. She is undeniably proof that age is just a number. Even today, the Hollywood icon continues to defy expectations both on and off the screen. Known for her confidence and candor, Jamie embraces her natural self in a way that's rare in an industry obsessed with perfection. But her journey hasn't always been so carefree. From Hollywood royalty to personal struggles, Jamie's road to self-acceptance is filled with lessons we can all learn from. And now, at 65, she's sharing the secrets behind her longevity in both life and career. Join us as we uncover the inspiring moments, challenges, and wisdom from her extraordinary life. Jamie Lee Curtis's tragic early life. Jamie Lee Curtis, born on November 22, 1958, in Santa Monica, California, had a front-row seat to Hollywood glamour and its harsh realities. As the daughter of two iconic actors, Janet Leigh of Psycho fame and Tony Curtis from Some Like It Hot, her arrival into the world was anything but peaceful. Jamie's parents were the power couple of the 1950s, but their relationship was unraveling. By the time Jamie was 3 years old, their marriage ended in a highly publicized divorce. Speaking of which, her parents' separation was no ordinary split. Tabloids ran wild with scandalous headlines, and Jamie was left to witness the fallout. In her words, she was a save-the-marriage baby, and as she painfully admitted in a 2010 interview, "I failed." Jamie later described the household she grew up in as one filled with hatred between her parents. Despite this, she acknowledged there was also love, albeit overshadowed by tension. The divorce didn't just affect Jamie emotionally, it uprooted her sense of stability. While her mother worked tirelessly to support her children, Tony Curtis remarried multiple times, including to an 18-year-old when Jamie was still struggling to find her footing as a child. In a conversation with Rolling Stone, she confessed that the constant instability and public scrutiny made her childhood deeply unsettling. Speaking of which, having famous parents wasn't all glitz and glamour for Jamie, growing up in the shadows of fame. While she lived a life of material comfort, she lacked the emotional support many children take for granted. "It screwed with my head," she admitted. As a child trying to carve out her own identity, Jamie felt overwhelmed by the pressures of living up to her parents' stardom. Adding to her challenges was her father's absence. Tony Curtis, by his own admission, was not an involved father. Jamie shared in interviews that he was more of a stranger and at times even an enemy. Tony's own traumatic childhood, marked by neglect and tragedy, seemed to shape his approach to fatherhood, or lack thereof. Jamie explained, "He was very clear. He did what he was supposed to do financially, but wasn't interested in being a father." Despite this, she chose not to hold it against him, demonstrating remarkable understanding toward his struggles. Her mother, Janet Leigh, was a constant presence, but even she faced her own battles. After the divorce, Leigh had to juggle raising her children with keeping her career afloat. Jamie recalled seeing her mother burn out from trying to manage it all. "It was a chaotic environment that left Jamie feeling unloved and deeply vulnerable. That killed me," she admitted, reflecting on the emotional scars of her childhood. Although Jamie Lee Curtis grew up surrounded by the magic of Hollywood, acting wasn't her first choice, a career she never planned. "I never thought I'd be an actor, ever," she shared in an interview. In fact, her dream was to become a police officer. She believed it would allow her to help others without requiring extensive education, something she struggled with in her youth. Jamie had difficulty in school, a challenge she now attributes to a possible learning disability. "Today I'd be diagnosed with some learning difference," she said. Her struggles didn't stop her from trying to make the most of her personality. "I wasn't pretty, I was cute, I had a lot of personality," she once said, reflecting on how she compensated for her lack of academic success with her charm and wit. She enrolled at the University of the Pacific to study corrections, but found her prospects dim. "I was a terrible student. School just missed me," she admitted. It was during this time that a chance encounter changed her life. A friend encouraged her to audition for a role in Nancy Drew. Although she didn't land the part, it sparked her interest in acting. Soon after, Jamie started taking acting classes, setting her on a path she hadn't planned but was destined for. Finding her place in Hollywood. Jamie Lee Curtis's journey into acting wasn't smooth, even though she came from a Hollywood dynasty. During her short stint taking acting classes in college, Jamie auditioned endlessly, often without success. She estimated she went to about 100 auditions before getting her big break, a contract with Universal. Her TV debut came in 1977 with an appearance on Quincy, Maine, followed by a regular role on the comedy series Operation Petticoat. Unfortunately, her first significant opportunity didn't go as planned. Jamie recalled, "I was fired, along with 11 of the 13 actors. I was devastated." Her dismissal left her feeling hopeless, thinking her career was over before it even began. But just 2 weeks later, fate intervened with the audition for Halloween. Jamie was up against another actor for the role of Laurie Strode, and she believes her Hollywood lineage gave her the edge. "If you're going to choose between this one and this one, choose the one whose mother was in Psycho," she admitted. Regardless of the advantage her background gave her, Jamie's performance in Halloween proved she was perfect for the role. The film made her an instant sensation, solidifying her place as a leading actress. Although Jamie's entry into acting wasn't smooth, it became the foundation of her life's purpose. Despite early doubts about following in her parents' footsteps, she quickly proved her talent and versatility. From her breakout role in Halloween to her comedic brilliance in A Fish Called Wanda, Jamie showed she could adapt to any genre. Her career accomplishments didn't come without challenges, though. Growing up in a family with 9 marriages left her wary of relationships and stability. "There is nothing harder than being a child," she told AARP, reflecting on how the turbulence of her upbringing shaped her. Yet Jamie managed to rise above it all, channeling her past into her work. Her roles often reflected a mix of strength and vulnerability, mirroring her own journey. Her father, Tony Curtis, once remarked on the sadness he saw in Jamie. In his memoir, he noted how she rarely smiled and often kept her thoughts to herself as a child. However, as Jamie grew older, she found her voice and used it not just in her acting, but in advocating for self-acceptance. This transformation allowed her to forge a legacy of her own, separate from the shadows of her famous parents. Stepping out of horror's shadow. Jamie Lee Curtis earned the title of Scream Queen early in her career with films like Halloween and The Fog. These iconic horror films made her a household name, but Jamie didn't want to be pigeonholed. In 1983, she took a bold step by taking on the role of Ophelia in the comedy Trading Places. It was a risky move, but one that paid off, showing the world her range as an actress. Her comedic timing and charm were undeniable, and the performance earned her a BAFTA for Best Supporting Actress. However, the role didn't come without challenges. At just 21 years old, Jamie had to perform a nude scene, which was an uncomfortable experience for her. She admitted years later, "Did I like doing it? No. Did I feel embarrassed? Yes." While she acknowledged it was part of the job, she also shared that she wouldn't be comfortable doing something like that today as a wife and mother. Her decision to branch out from horror opened doors to more diverse roles. Films like Trading Places helped Jamie move beyond the genre that initially defined her, allowing her to explore different facets of her talent and solidify her place in Hollywood as more than just a horror star. Battling self-image and addiction. Although her breakout role in Halloween made her an overnight sensation, the spotlight brought its own challenges. Jamie grew up watching her mother, Janet Leigh, deal with public scrutiny over her looks. This left a lasting impact on her. "The most complicated relationship my mother had was with her own body," Jamie once said. Her mother's struggles with aging and beauty planted seeds of insecurity in Jamie, making her question her own appearance. Jamie didn't feel beautiful and sought cosmetic surgery to change that. Unfortunately, her attempt to feel better about herself led to something far worse. After a routine plastic surgery in the late 1980s, Jamie was prescribed painkillers. What started as a way to manage post-surgery pain quickly spiraled into addiction. She paired the painkillers with alcohol, but her addiction remained a secret. "I never took drugs before 5 p.m. I never took painkillers at 10 in the morning," she revealed. By carefully controlling her habit, Jamie managed to hide it from everyone. In 1999, after years of struggle, Jamie decided enough was enough. She became sober and turned her life around. She learned to embrace her natural self and stopped chasing the impossible standards that once tormented her. Speaking of which, did you know that Jamie Lee Curtis isn't just a legendary actor, she's also a successful author, a talented writer, and a busy life. In the early 1990s, she stumbled into writing children's books by accident. Her first book, When I Was Little, a 4-year-old's memoir of her youth, came about when she started listing things her 4-year-old daughter could do. The result was a heartfelt story that connected with readers. Since then, Jamie has written 13 children's books, including This Is Me, a story of who we are and where we came from. One of her books even stayed on the New York Times bestseller list for 10 weeks. Writing wasn't something she planned, but it became another way for her to express her creativity and connect with others. Even with her writing success, Jamie hasn't slowed down her acting career. She continues to appear in films, including recent Halloween sequels and fan favorites like Knives Out. At the same time, she balances her busy career with family life. Jamie's ability to juggle so many roles while staying authentic shows just how dedicated and versatile she is. Speaking of family, who does she share her life with? A love story built to last. Jamie Lee Curtis's love story with Christopher Guest is as unique as it is heartwarming. She first saw his picture in Rolling Stone and immediately knew he was the one. "I said out loud to my friend, 'I'm going to marry that guy,'" Jamie revealed. It might sound like a scene from a rom-com, but it became her reality. With the help of her friend Deborah Hill, Jamie made the first move by leaving her number with his agent. Although Christopher didn't call initially, fate brought them together again at a restaurant. From there, their romance blossomed quickly. Within 4 months, the couple tied the knot in 1984. Together, they adopted 2 daughters, Annie in 1986 and Ruby in 1996, building a family that Jamie treasures deeply. Their enduring marriage, spanning nearly 4 decades, is a testament to their love and commitment. Jamie has often shared the key to their successful marriage: dedication. "Don't leave," she said. She explained it using a beautiful metaphor. "Stay on the bus. The scenery will change." For Jamie, marriage is about weathering the tough times together and finding beauty in the journey. Her love for Christopher is evident in the ways she celebrates him. On their 35th wedding anniversary, Jamie even wrote him a song with touching lyrics like, "I feel safe when I drive up and see that you are home." Their bond is a reminder that true love requires respect, resilience, and staying together through life's ups and downs. Longevity through hard work and self-acceptance. Jamie Lee Curtis is a master of longevity, not just in her career but in her personal life as well. In an industry where staying relevant can be as challenging as breaking in, Jamie has continuously reinvented herself while staying true to who she is. Ahead of her 60th birthday, she reflected on the effort it takes to live a fulfilling life. For Jamie, happiness isn't about perfection, but about dedication and balance. Her approach to life applies to everything, including her marriage, career, and health. She believes in working through difficult moments instead of giving up. "You think you're having a bad week, but stay on the bus," she explained. Jamie is also a realist, not a romantic. Her grounded approach has helped her navigate the challenges of fame and family life while maintaining her authenticity. Jamie's journey is inspiring because it shows that true success comes from embracing who you are and putting in the effort to grow. Whether it's acting, family, or simply being happy in her own skin, Jamie Lee Curtis has mastered the art of thriving at every stage of life. Her story is a lesson in resilience, proving that with hard work and a bit of self-acceptance, it's possible to achieve longevity in all aspects of life. A long-awaited Oscar win. Did you know that in 2023, Jamie Lee Curtis finally received the recognition many felt she deserved? Her first Oscar. She won Best Supporting Actress for her performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was a huge moment in her decades-long career, marking a pinnacle of her talent and dedication. During her emotional acceptance speech, Jamie thanked her co-stars, team, and family. But one moment stood out. She acknowledged her late parents, Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh, saying, "My mother and my father were both nominated for Oscars in different categories." That nod to her Hollywood legacy made the win even more meaningful. However, her victory wasn't without controversy. Angela Bassett, nominated in the same category for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, appeared visibly disappointed when she didn't win. Fans rallied online, defending Bassett's reaction as understandable. Despite the chatter, Jamie stayed focused on what the moment meant to her. Speaking at the GMA Oscars. After party, she emphasized the message of kindness in the film that won her the award. "It's the goodwill, the message of kindness and love and reunification, at a time when we're all struggling," she shared. Jamie's win was more than just a golden statue. It was a celebration of her resilience and the positive impact of the movie, The Joy of Aging Gracefully. Jamie Lee Curtis is a passionate advocate for embracing aging. Now 65, she radiates confidence and creativity. In an interview with Today, she described turning 65 as a time of reflection and excitement. She shared how much she's grown over the years, saying, "I'm much less hard on myself. I own what I think and feel." For Jamie, this is what maturity looks like: being honest with herself while remaining kind. Her perspective on aging stands out in a world obsessed with youth. "This word anti-aging has to be struck," she declared at the Radically Reframing Aging Summit. "I am pro-aging. I want to age with intelligence, grace, dignity, and energy." Jamie doesn't just talk the talk. She's leading by example. She's let her hair turn naturally silver and speaks openly about her past experiences with plastic surgery and Botox. Reflecting on those choices, she told Today, "All I see is people now focusing their life on that. I did it. It did not work." Speaking of which, Jamie has also passed this wisdom to her daughters Annie and Ruby. She encourages them to embrace who they are without resorting to cosmetic fixes. Her advice? Don't mess with your face. Jamie believes that aging can be beautiful, and she's showing the world how to do it with confidence and authenticity. Now the question is, what is Jamie Lee Curtis doing now? Jamie Lee Curtis has always been more than just an actress. As she's grown older, she's found new ways to make a difference. After turning 60, Jamie had a revelation. She realized that all the ideas she had been holding on to would die with her unless she brought them into the world. This motivated her to start her own production company, Comet Pictures, with support from Blumhouse Productions. One of her recent projects is a documentary about Susan Powter, the 90s fitness icon known for her Stop the Insanity infomercials. The film explores Powter's rise to fame, her financial troubles, and her later shift to driving for Uber Eats. For Jamie, this isn't just a story about one person. It's a critique of how society treats older individuals. It's an exploration of the incredible cruelty that we inflict on older people and the lack of dignity offered these human beings, she said. Jamie's dedication to this documentary reflects her growing awareness of mortality and her desire to tell stories that matter. By shedding light on issues like aging and societal neglect, she's using her platform to inspire change. Her work as a producer shows that Jamie's creativity and passion are as strong as ever. From her Oscar win to her advocacy for aging gracefully and her meaningful projects, Jamie Lee Curtis continues to prove that life only gets better with time. What's your favorite Jamie Lee Curtis role, and how has she inspired you with her journey of self-acceptance and aging gracefully? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating stories.